bioinformatics careers and the salaries I'm going to present. The average salary for the bioinformatics careers varies by geography and industry. Roles in pharma and biotech tend to pay more than roles in healthcare or academia. In addition, many companies post the bioinformatics roles with similar job descriptions and salaries, but slightly different titles. I have also included very interesting jobs which are currently available, and it's like global jobs, which and one of them is basically permanent jobs, and from any country, any person can apply who fulfills the eligibility or requirement criteria. Here is a look at 7 common bioinformatics careers along with their salaries and the considerations. For example, the first job is bioinformatics scientist, which is basically highly paid sell job. So the salary here mentioned is 100,000 plus. So basically, so when you are saying, let's say this salary, but currently, even in USA and Europe, this salary is 20-30% more, depending on your experience only. If you have experience of more than 2 years, then definitely you are going to get the salary, annual salary of more than this, minimum 20% more than this. A bioinformatics scientist's key responsibility is to develop the software applications and databases to analyze the biological data. It is the role most closely associated with data scientists in the industries outside biology and biotechnologies. Coordinating with other scientists and professionals within the organization is a valuable skill for bioinformatics scientists. Maintaining extensive records of experiments and analysis is also an important part of this job, as it is a law. It allows for the easy review of the past work to identify future research priorities. Other elements of the day-to-day job may differ depending on where a bioinformatics scientist is working. At a large firm such as pharmaceutical company, there may be standardized workflows for data collection and analysis, as well as templates for creating reports. On the other hand, at a startup or a smaller firm, the role may involve running experiments as well as performing the tasks, such as supporting the IT department. Now, the second job position is research scientists. Here, the average salary is approximately 90,000 per annum, most often found in the academic job or academic setting, universities and colleges or research centers. And here, the research scientist typically conducts research in a laboratory setting that includes both control and experiment groups. Experiments can be done only after a proposal is peer-reviewed and approved for its methodology and validity to the scientific field. A background in bioinformatics is helpful for interpreting the results of an experiment, such as collected data from the tests conducted on the living specimens and for summarizing observations in scientific papers. Since the research scientist often conducts work that is not directly or immediately applicable to the business world, so grant writing and fundraising are useful skills for this bioinformatics role. Now, the most common job where your background of biology is irrelevant, that is biostatistician. You need to have good statistical knowledge. So the salary is very close to what you have seen on the second job, that is annual of 82,000 US dollar. A biostatistician focuses on statistical design and analysis as it relates to the research work. This role is also responsible for preparing reports that summarizes the analysis and refer to any pertinent research methodologies. The work environment may be a hospital or research lab, and the area of focus may be epidemiology, genetics, or ecology. The ability to create easy to read reports is a critical skill for a biostatistician, as the analysis is often presented to the clients or other external stakeholders. In addition to internal teams, the role is typically part of a larger research team, so interpersonal management and communication and collaboration are also valuable skills. Now, microbiology. So, what is computational microbiology? Here, basically, you need to work on the purely microbiology project, but from the computational side. This is what, in conclusion, you can say the salary is very close to what you have seen on the third job. Microbiologists, where they study the organisms such as bacteria, viruses that cannot be seen with the naked eyes. Increasingly, this role focuses on these organisms interact with the environment and impact human and animal health. So, microbiologists typically work in an academic setting, and an advanced degree is often required to conduct independent research or supervise the students or the laboratory professionals. And a bioinformatics background could help the microbiologist to interpret anomalies and other patterns in the research data, which in turn can be used to identify the areas of the additional research or to discover new ways that an organism may impact our health. In addition, since publishing scientific articles or papers is an important part of microbiology's work, understanding to display the data and analyze it and in an approachable way is a key part of this role. Now, bioinformatician, which is common, everyone is saying bioinformatician. So this is very common nature of job in bioinformatics. So among the bioinformatics career, a bioinformatician is most closely associated with managing data itself. This role is responsible for managing large data sets, developing data frameworks, and creating and modifying algorithms. Their analysis is typically used for classifying components of a biological system, such as DNA sequences, or for documenting protein expression. Bioinformaticians should be well versed in programming statistical models, combining data sets, and maintaining data integrity and security. Individuals in this role often collaborate with scientists and researchers to interpret and present data sets. Now, geological or geologists or wildlife biologists, these scientists, so this is quite minor. You will find less number of jobs in this field where you are just focusing on wildlife, animals, or some kind of organisms which basically they are mostly out of the human living areas, and you need to just go for statistical analysis, their survival, their living style, such information gathering and large scale data presentation and a statistical analysis. So this is basically limited job is available in this field. Then it comes another molecular biology, which is very common, and almost in every molecular biology lab, the lab supervisor needs this, including the companies and also the university labs. So a molecular biologist looks at individual cells and molecules in plants, animals, and humans, paying particular attention to how they interact. Individuals in this role typically work at a hospital, university, laboratory, or government agency through some, though some may work in a corporate setting. This research is often used to diagnose and treat the diseases at a molecular level, particularly those caused by inherited genetic mutations. So, bioinformatics skills are helpful for the role of molecular biologists due to the size of human genome and the human proteome. or a set of proteins in human body. In addition, the ability to analyze text, images, or sound files can help molecular